Hey guys, what's going on, Tees? It is David here. We are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, we shall be discussing the quintessential quintuplets. We've talked about two characters so far. We've talked about Ichika, a character I don't like, and we talked about Yotsuba, a character that I don't really have an opinion on because I like her and I both don't like her. So now we're going to move on into the third sister of the quintessential quintuplets. And no, it's not the middle sister. No, it is not the younger sister. We're going to talk about the second oldest sister, that is Nino Nakano. Now, Nino, I'm not even gonna lie to you straight off the bat, guys. Within the first 3 episodes, Nino was everybody's least favorite. Nino was such a horrible person to Futuro. She literally got him drugged. And he ended up going back home. And if it wasn't for Itsuki, he would have had to pay for a $4,000 Uber that Nino cost. And then, in the next episode, when he gets everybody ready to go, he has Miku there. He has Yotsuba there. He looks like he's about to get even Ichiga there. She's like, yeah, this person's got to do this, this person's got to do this, this person's got to do this, person's got to do this. And at the end, it's just him and her. And he's looking at her, it's just like, it's him, her, and Miku, because Miku at this point didn't really care. And she even tried to get Miku to go out away from Futuro after they had their moment in the previous episode. And she was like, oh yeah, Miku, you owe me a soda. And Miku was like, here, I got you matcha soda. I got you matcha soda. It's a drink, but it still counts. But man, oh man. And then over the course of the first coming seasons, we see Nino continue not like Futuro, continue to terrorize Futuro. And then her one shining moment in season 1 is when she grabs the phone as Futuro's about to be fired and says that they all passed in each of the 5 subjects. That's her best shining moment of the first season until we get to the campfire, when we finally meet Futuro with blonde hair, and she falls for Futuro with blonde hair, but Futuro says that it's one of his family members. I forgot the guy's name. And Nino instantly falls in love with them. And as they're going through the campfire, you know, like Nino's having a certain thing, and then it comes to the final day, and Futuro ends up getting, I believe Futuro ends up getting Futuro ended up getting sick because of what happened between what happened with him and Ichika that night when they were in the thing. But as I look at it, it's just like I look at it like Nino really cares a lot about sisters. I'm not even gonna doubt about that. End of the first season, all 5 quintessential quintuplets are holding Futuro's hand at the end of the campfire thing, and then we move on to the second season. We see Nino's the first sister to appear, but she's only there because she does not want to get her shots. And speaking of a guy that like doesn't like needles, I can relate. I don't like getting shots either. But Nino eventually had to do it. Then also, I believe over the course of the season, we see that Nino ends up having a fight with Itsuki because Itsuki came up and slapped her after she got angry at Futuro, ripped one of his papers that he had handwritten for each of the 5 sisters. Itsuki comes up, slaps Nino slaps her back, and then they both move out. And over the course of that time, we kind of see Nino and Itsuki on their own. Nino's really more on her own in her own like apartments. That I believe during the course of the 4 episodes, she ends up getting three apartments. And then towards the end, we finally see her have a moment with Futuro, like start to realize like, hey, Futuro maybe isn't that bad. Maybe I should start to appreciate him a lot more. And then the 4th episode of the parter is when Futuro decides to quit on the girls. They end up quitting. They end up leaving their apartment, getting their own place. And in that moment, Futuro jumps into the water to retrieve their cars. All 5 of them jump in the water after Futuro to rescue him. And Futuro ends up trying to rescue something else that's completely away from the story. Ends up saving Nino. And as he's raising Nino up, he says, hold on tight, and Nino clicks in her head that she may be in love with Futuro. And I'll give you this, Nino is bold. Nino is definitely bold because Nino was the first sister to confess straight up that she loved Futuro. So I gotta give that to Nino. But second season Nino, oh my, bro, I'm gonna say this right now because then we see the moment that happened with Ichika impersonating Miku after Nino said, like, I don't, like, Nino basically, after she confessed, she said to Futaro, like, I'm going to show you that I'm a girl, I'm going to show you that I care about you and how much I love you. And she kind of embarrassed Futaro in certain moments, but then when we get into the final school trip, which is the last couple episodes, we see what happened with Ichika impersonating Miku. Nino comes straight away. Nino's like, what the are you doing? Why are you doing this? You know how Miku feels. And she's actually the one, I think Yosuke was actually the first one that stood up for Miku, but then Nino ripped into Ichika for doing that, and I'll stand by way for that. I was like, who's gonna do it? That was the one sister that just had her confession ruined, and basically it blabbed out when she didn't even want it. That's the worst sister to possibly happen. And Ichika at the moment didn't care because she wanted Futaro for herself. Nina wanted Futaro for herself, but did she go at it that way? No. She literally said straight up, I love you, I'm going to show you that I'm a girl, and I show you that how much I love you. Ichika decided to hide behind a mask and a wig and say like, oh yeah, Miku thinks that you guys would be a good couple. I don't really understand it, but I gotta say this. Over the course of the 1, 2, and 3rd season, which is technically the movie, I'll give you this. Nino at the start was not one of my favorites, but she has become my 3rd favorite of the sisters. I just can't say she just can't be top 2, but I'll give Nino this. Out of all 5 sisters, she is definitely the one that's had the most character development, and I love to see that. Seeing from where she was in episode 1 to seeing where she is at the movie, and how her relationship with Futaro is, how she's come to appreciate Futaro and everything that he is for the sisters, I fucking love it. So Nino, you're my 3rd favorite, but I definitely gotta give you this. You had the best character development out of all the sisters, and I'm excited to see what they do when the new anime is supposed to come. I think it should be coming probably next year, but I'm excited to see that. But anyway, guys, that leaves us down to 2 sisters. We got Itsuki and we got Miku. Find out who's number 1 in the next video.